It's a brand new season. We know training camp's getting close, but when we look at what Patrick Mahomes used to be, the changes he's made going into this year, it starts fresh. It's not necessarily about the play style, but the look. He's got a new haircut. He talked about the superstition with his old haircut now. He's a little bit older. He's got more than one kid, and he wants to start fresh this season. So we're going to do a little bit of something different here on RGR Football, where I'm starting fresh. We're doing a little bit more of a real in-depth breakdown. We're going to take a couple of plays and we're going to break them down from last season in the postseason, things you may have missed or things that have more detail to it than they really do appear. My name is Daniel Harms, senior film analyst here at RGR Football. If you guys are new to the channel, please hit that sub button right now. Allow us to really guide you guys and learn more about the game of football. Sorry, there was something flying around outside that was just distracting my attention really quick. But that's what we're here to do, is teach you guys and learn. And we all want to learn. So one of the things that I love about doing stuff like this is that not only am I helping you guys learn, but I'm teaching myself in the process, because I have to go through every play. I have to see what happens. I have to be able to diagnose and explain things properly. So we're going to dial it back. We're going to explain more of the verbiage and really get into one of the things that I think is really important about not just film analysis, but playing, about watching football. I think that this is a really cool thing. So this play right here, it all looks simple. I know we're going to try to work around some of the gadgets right here that are a bit of a problem. All right, we'll keep that over here, I think. But overall, right here, this starts front, right? You see condensed side up top here, right here, one tight end, one receiver. Then you got two receivers on this side, but Xavier Worthy is more of lined up as that detached tight end position. So one thing we know, the Chiefs want to get Juju Smith-Schuster open. So one of the things that you noticed about the defense in general is that they start off more showing that too high. So I'll go back just a little bit. So you do see too high from the start. And again, too high defense typically indicates cover 2, cover 4, some way, shape, or form, where those two high safeties stay at the top, right? As the play continues, the Bills bring more players down, right? So that safety comes down here. He's going to creep close to the line of scrimmage. He's coming down. And the Chiefs, again, they're going to notice that Patrick Mahomes sees everything that's happening. So when that safety comes down, this is an indication that they are going to rotate, okay? So rotating this safety out to more of a single high formation, whether the man or zone, will be identified by pre-snap shift, because if you have guys that travel with one another, you can indicate then it's man or more closely cover 1, or if it's zone, it's probably more like a cover 3. So we see that shift in the secondary. Safety comes down. And just quickly as they shift over, right? So he comes down, that brings this defensive shift over as well. So you've got linebackers shifting down with the addition of this safety into the box, right? So he's shifting down there, coming over closer to the tight end, Travis Kelce, and they're going to bump Kelce out. And then what that does is it shifts that safety now who came down to the box out this way as well. And this safety this corner bumps down. So we have bump down, bump down, bump down. And that safety comes down. So now we can safely assume that this safety is going to rotate out to single high and then give us a cover 3 defense, which means you've got cornerback out here, safety here, this cornerback out in this way. So and then they kind of shift down based off of what the offense is going to do. But typically this cover 3 defense, you've got a cloud cover player over here, typically 2-ish, 3 in the middle. Excuse me. So you've got 1, 2, 3, that coverage right there. So that means this safety or this cornerback here, or this player out here is going there. Safety's going here. Corners back here. So those 3 players there. And then underneath you have the 4 rushers, right? Typical 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you've got cloud coverage underneath. So typically they'll be out here or they'll go to the flat. It can change based off of whether it's cover 3 flat or cover 3 cloud, things like that. You can have underneath coverages as well. So we see Travis Kelce bump out to the outside, becoming the number 1 receiver on that side. It's no longer Juju Smith-Schuster. And what does that do? It creates more holes over the middle of the defense, right? So now we know that there's going to be a space provided in the middle of the defense. We also understand that with this play itself comes play action, okay? So let's run through. We talked about the defensive side, right? How they're going to rotate and how that is going to change the way that the Chiefs play this specific play. That's what they want to do. They want to show you, they want to show a play, and then they want to be able to diagnose based off of the changes that they make. So again, here we go through that. Safety comes down, they bump out. So this play is very, very quick. It's very easy, but there's a lot more moving parts to it with the shift here. Obviously, this is just a pre-snap shift, but it gives Patrick Mahomes the identifying factor of cover 3 zone. All right. So we have all that. And then the play itself, you're going to see play action here, but also Xavier Worthy is going to go on more of a jet motion to the opposite side of the field. So now you have crossing motions at the snap. Going to create a little bit of confusion on the defensive side. But we see here, right there, this is where this is what the Chiefs want. They want that cross section, right? Receiver and running back going to the same spot. They don't block this guy off the edge right there. So we have a free rusher, which also creates a void, right? This entire space right here is open. So one of the things that you're going to want to notice is how the defense is reacting to this cross section motion. So eyes here first, right? Receiver. All right. We're also going to have eyes here on where Xavier Worthy is going to go. Then they also blitz this player on the right-hand side of the offense. So we see eyes, right? But another area that you're going to want to focus on right now is right here. As this safety rotates back here, and these players are caught up with eyes in the backfield because of the play action as well as the motion from Xavier Worthy, they stall. And that shift from the initial play action creates this void on the right or on the left-hand side because all of the defense is kind of shifted to this side of the field, right? Because of that play action, but also eyes on Xavier Worthy, eyes on Xavier Worthy, not so much on Juju Smith-Schuster. So Patrick Mahomes can throw this football into space without really even knowing where Juju Smith-Schuster is. He throws it to a spot on the field because he knows that's exactly where he's going to be. And because of the way the defense is operating, he has one player he has to read. And that's what he's doing, right? He's looking right here initially at this kind of cross section right there. So wherever this safety ends up going is where he's not going to throw the football. So he stops, he's flat-footed. Patrick knows this area of the defense is easy to exploit. And also because Travis Kelce's out on that left side anyway, that safety underneath has multiple eyes, responsibilities he has to take care of. So this play itself is an explosive play because of everything that happens pre-snap and then the identifying factor of one player on that left side of the defense, or excuse me, the offense, where Patrick can see. So all of that is one play, right? How so many different things can interconnect and make things happen on the offensive side for the Chiefs. On the reverse side, we see the Chiefs defense on a third down play here is going to create nearly an interception. But look at all the movement the Chiefs have on their defense before the snap right there. You have rotation here. You have players getting after Josh Allen, who, again, we know is fantastic at getting the ball out and downfield. So let's go ahead and break it down. One, because Najee Johnson does a really nice job of recovering here. But we're going to go back just before the snap right there. Okay, so we know, at least let's break down the offensive side of the football first. The Bills are going to send in motion. Actually, we'll use blue for them still. They're going to send Khalil Shakir in motion, right? So this is a 2-by-2 formation to start. It becomes a one formation with him on the opposite side. The Chiefs, again, are showing two high safeties, right? We see that initial. So just keep that in mind as we keep going through the play here. Right there, right there. So let's go through the motion. Let's see where this all lines up. They knock down Trent McDuffie to that outside receiver. And now you got Khalil Shakir from right to left. So that 3-by-1 formation stays true. He's going to run a dig route over the middle of the field to clear Chamari Connor. That's what he's looking for here. You got outside receiver going straight down the field. You've also got the tight end right here in that reduced split, just running seam route there. And then on the opposite side, you've got a subtle drag underneath. So you can see how there's a high-low concept here, as well as just clear out routes. So what I mean by high-low is that there's two cross-section here with the underneath route, that drag route, and then the dig route. So you have two routes that are high. One is high, one is low. Typically for quarterbacks, you're tasked to read the high to the low because you want to hit that deeper route first. And if it's not open, then typically that check down or the underneath the low route is open. So that's what they have right there, passing this passing concept on third down. The reason they want that deeper route is because it is 3rd and 8 or longer. So they want to be able to hit that for space down the field. So we are going to go now to the Chiefs defensive side as they motion again. You see movement come down. For me, it looks like Tampa 2, and we'll get to that part when the play comes through, and I'll tell you why I think it looks like Tampa 2. Again, I could be wrong, but you have safety shift. So one safety comes down here into the box. That is Jaden Hicks. And then you have Justin Reed replace him that way. Okay, so we have 3 safeties on the field at one time, as well as a nickel in Shamari Connor here. So the Chiefs are in dime personnel or pseudo dime if you want to treat him as a linebacker or Justin Reed as a linebacker. Either way, that's fine with me. And then you also have Nick Bolton here, who has come from the middle of the field down, creating one-on-ones across the board, right? The Chiefs do this a lot to find one-on-ones, and a lot of times they'll take Nick Bolton and they'll bring him back out, right? So you can isolate players for Chris Jones, Charles Menahue. You see Charles Menahue right here inside. So you can isolate a one-on-one opportunity here for Charles Menahue against a guard if you get that center just to pay attention to Nick Bolton a little bit more. So here again, you got that shift. And right now, Bryant Cook comes down to communicate something with Shamari Connor. So basically, I think he's trying to let him know that there is somebody trying to clear a route out. So he's going to have to take attention, right? Knock down. I'm going to take the slot receiver if he comes my way. So as the play unfolds, all right, the reason, again, I think it's Tampa 2, where you see Jaden Hicks following the seam route, okay? Because he's following it deep down the field. So he's coming out this way. I'm going to use this. This will be much easier. Straight line from the tight end, and then you have that deep cover, quote-unquote linebacker in Jaden Hicks, who's going to follow him down the field. And again, you have that cover 2 shell here, and typically Tampa 2 is where that linebacker or whoever's in that second level is running down the pipe, as they say. And then you have underneath defender here. This ends up being George Karlaftis. This one here is, Shamari Connor. Then you have Najee Johnson here, Trent McDuffie on the opposite side. So the Chiefs, what we saw just now, where they put Nick Bolton on the line of scrimmage, they are going to blitz him and drop George Karlaftis into coverage, right? So he kind of feigns like he's going to rush, then drops out into coverage right there. So this is what I'm talking about by they want the dig route, that high-low concept. Josh Allen is waiting for this dig route to unfold for Khalil Shakir, right? So you got the clear out route working more of like a dagger on this concept here. And that underneath, that defender going with him. So this area of the field is open. Unfortunately for Josh Allen, the Chiefs get pressure, right? Mike Dana does a great job rushing off the right-hand side, and then you've got Chris Jones in your face too. So when we see the play go through, shifting in the defense, right, it is a 3rd and long situation for them, or 3rd and 6, I think 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. But nice job by Mike Dana creating that pressure. So we can't throw this football yet, right? Eyes from Shamari Connor, showcase, can't throw that football. Because if he does, he's going to pick it off, right? He's looking right at Josh Allen. So that's one of the things where he is. And honestly, if he wants to go to this route here, that's where you also see Shamari Connor, his skills to be able to rush downhill and then get after the player underneath route there. So now you got to move off that route. And again, Josh Allen does a great job of that. This is where I want to really pay attention. A nice job here from Najee Johnson, who we don't give a lot of credit to because he's made some bad plays, but nice. There's a lot of nice things that happen here from Shamari Connor to Najee Johnson to almost the interception from Cook there. But this is what I like, the communication, right? Paying attention to the quarterback. Eyes here as he's getting around in the pocket, right? Najee Johnson, he's not supposed to carry all the way down, so he's creating contact with Keon Coleman, and then he's going to get down here, right, just in case that safety valve down here is thrown. So he stops there. But this is the trade-off. The trade-off really cool. Shamari Connor goes down here. Initially, Najee Johnson wants to go here, right? And also, George Karlaftis has an opportunity to run after Josh Allen, but he sees that Nick Bolton is going to do that too. So he backs off, just kind of is patient, stays in throwing lanes. If you can stay in throwing lanes against Josh Allen, you're going to find ways to create problems. And there, Nick Bolton is a much better closing speed player, so he lets Bolton take care of that with the other pursuit players. But then there's the interchange here from Chamari Connor and Najee Johnson. Najee backs up here and should have had a pick. And then Cook should have had a pick. But all of those things create this crazy whacked out third down where the Chiefs could have sacked Josh Allen, they could have intercepted him, and they could have done a lot of different things. Obviously, ended up at the end of the day, they forced a punt. But rotations, dropping players from one area to the other, playing a little bit more Tampa 2 coverage. The Chiefs like that 2 high safety right now. But all of those things come into creating plays like this and forcing the offense into situations where they're not comfortable. Even if Josh Allen likes to get out of the pocket, he would prefer to stay in the pocket like most other quarterbacks. Now, the last 2 plays that we're going to showcase here, this one I'm going to break down a little bit kind of loosely because it's not at the end of the day a hugely impactful thing. It's more to put some shade on Kevin Keisman, who is a moron, and about the dad bod stuff here, because I'll tell you what, regardless of what he thinks, Patrick Mahomes, when he's being pursued, when he's out in space, when he's able to run the football, is the most efficient scrambler in the NFL. One of. Absolutely. And we see it right here, all the ways that he's able to create space, right, for himself with pursuing players. We saw him do this time and time again. But once again, the Chiefs start off in a 3-by-1 formation, right? You've got 3 receivers down here. It looks a little funky because Travis Kelce detached here. You've got Xavier Worthy and Justin Watson. Excuse me, this is Sky Moore, not Justin Watson, all in close proximity. They're going to motion Xavier Worthy out to the left. And again, that motion identifies man coverage, right? When that defensive player goes purely with the wide receiver, it is man coverage. Now, sometimes that changes. The really elite defenses can move players from one side to the other and drop into zone. They can do that. It's difficult, but most of the time it's identifying, man coverage. So you get that here. And the Chiefs want to hit either Travis Kelce, who's going to come over here, kind of run a little stop route on the right side, or Xavier Worthy, who's running a deep over route. And I want you to notice that they layer these routes on purpose, right? So if you draw a line from here to here, eyesight-wise, or even if you draw a line from Patrick Mahomes' eyes to Travis Kelce through here, eventually those receivers are going to overlap, or the space is going to overlap where Patrick can throw it to Travis. But if he's not open and the space behind him is, he can then throw it to Xavier Worthy down the field for an explosive play. You will notice that Xavier does end up open quickly, but what else happens? Oh, we got pressure in the pocket. Granted, not a ton, but you do see some off the right-hand side here. Patrick is into space immediately. Fred Warner goes over to the running back, right, out of the backfield. Look at all this space. This is where Patrick is one of the best at exploiting space. But here, initially, right, look at the path he takes. He attacks here first, which is going to draw Fred Warner in. And then Patrick just kind of sidesteps underneath, over behind the 40, makes him miss, right? Feels like we've seen Patrick throw that football all the time to a player behind him, forces a hesitation, he stops, and then he keeps moving. So, guys, I don't care what unless Patrick Mahomes comes in with the biggest beer gut in the world, which he never will. He's always working. He's always working with Bobby Strope. We know that. We've seen the workout videos. I mean, this guy is not fat by any stretch of the imagination. He's one of the best scramblers in football. He does an excellent job of finding space, exploiting it. And at the end of the day, when you can consistently do this is year 8 for him. He's going into year 9 and find plays like this. The reason Patrick Mahomes has put on a little bit of weight, because he gets hit. He gets hit, right? All quarterbacks get hit. Patrick Mahomes is over 6'2", and boom, here comes the dynamite. Okay? You want to be able to take hits. You want to be able to give hits when it comes down to it. And Patrick Mahomes can do both of those things. And that's why he's been able to play through injuries. That's why he's been able to get hits like he's had over the past couple of seasons. I just wanted to include this one because it's a lot of fun. The scramble was 2 plays or 3 plays before. This is a 4th down where Patrick doesn't see the initial route open. boom, and there comes one of the bigger hitters in the NFL, and Malik Mustafa last year, who was out of Wake Forest, a rookie last season. So he came in based off of an injury, and then boom, he comes able to take a shoulder from Patrick Mahomes. So you guys, I'm excited about the possibility of doing these smaller breakdowns. I think that it gives you a lot more, specifically for the offseason. We'll do, once it comes to the regular season, we'll have a little bit more of a single game sample size and some breakdowns of concepts. I'm going to try to pay more attention to sequencing, play sequencing with runs and play action, things like that. So we're going to try to develop more about what we do here as well. As giving you guys something different, not just the same stuff that we've done every single year. So adding a little bit of different layers. And I hope that you enjoyed this breakdown, getting a little bit more deeper, more into the weeds. And if you guys have any questions on some of the terminology, anything that you're looking for, let me know in the comment section. Go ahead and put down in the comments what you guys are interested in hearing about, explaining before the season, and I'll see what I can do about getting that to you. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And if you are new to the RGR football channel, please hit that sub button right now. Hopefully, I was able to earn one of these likes from you guys, because we want likes for the channel. We want likes to get us out to everybody else. So it is what it is. I hate asking for them, but at the end of the day, it does help the channel grow as much as you guys do with the support every single day. So have yourselves a great rest of your day. We are getting closer to training camp. Just keep holding out hope that it keeps going by faster and faster and faster. And I'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.